Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Harappan, and today we're going to be talking about ancient Indian civilizations in 6th grade social studies. Now, the ancient Indians were one of the oldest of the four early civilizations. Before we get into more of that, please take a moment, subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the notification bell on the right to get daily notifications of all my videos, and make sure to smash that like button, give it a huge thumbs up, help like to support the channel, and yeah, so without further ado, let's get started. So the Indians were first known as the Harappans. Now, the Harappans, or however you want to pronounce it, they were one of the earliest of the four civilizations. They were not nomadic. They stayed in one place, and they did farming and just the basics. They were like Animal Crossing, but in real life, I guess. And one thing they were really fond of was fishing. They knew fishing really well, and they would fish. And one of the things that later the Native Americans would also use, they kind of rediscovered it, I guess, was using fish as fertilizer for their crops. Now, that's something you don't really see a lot of today. Now they either do synthetic fertilizer or they do manure. But back then, they did fish. And what they would do is when they have their plants planted, they would dig a little ditch beside the plant, put the fish in, cover it, and then the fish would rot, thus giving nutrients to help, re-energize the soil, I guess. And they didn't do the crop rotation system where you would say, if I had a plot of land and I grew tomatoes one year, I would do cucumbers the next year. They didn't do that. They just stuck with planting they probably had yams, I guess, or maybe some sort of early root or barley. And they would plant that and then do it again the next year. And this was a system they would do up until, I guess, the Middle Ages, when they started to have shortages in food and the soil went bad, so they would do that. But the Indians were really fond of also believing in many gods. They were polytheistic. They Hindu wasn't around yet. Hindu came around I want to say a couple hundred years after, but this was early BCs. I mean, a little after the cavemans, I want to say. And they had polytheism. They were polytheistic. They believed in the sun god, the flower god, the water god. Everything has a god back then, and they all believed in that, and that's how they thrived and flourished. They would do sacrifices and religious activities and whatnot, and that was the way they survived. They were like, I guess you could say, more of like just a happy little village. For their military, they did use elephants. They used elephants, and up until I want to say the mid Persians, even the Persians used elephants. They would get their elephants drunk, and then the elephants would stomp on everybody, and that was the way there was like the pre-tank, like the natural tanks that they used, I guess you could say. And that's really about it. The ancient Indians, oldest civilization, known as the Harappans, whatever you want to call them. I'm gonna have to Google that. Until next time, I'm Harappan, and if you did like this video, please give it a like, smash that thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed, do consider subscribing. It does help me out a lot, help support the channel. Until next time, I'm Harappan. Keep on learning, kids.